I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dick's Comedy Podcast. The podcast is a spin-off, actually, from the web series The Two Dicks, soon to be a feature film in 2025.
Is that true?
I don't know. I'm Al Ducharme, and I'm in Los Angeles today, and that right there is Al Romas. I think he's in Tampa in his new digs. Are you in your new digs?
I'm in the new digs. We're both at home base today, so we get to record with superior Wi-Fi, and that's fun. Not to be on a ship or a hotel or whatever it is we do. So it's nice. Good to see you there, Alfredo.
Same here. All good. We have some things we have to talk about later on. We're going to answer some listeners' questions or a question. We have some topical stuff. They found the remains to Brian Laundrie, the one who is a person of interest in strangling his wife. The girlfriend? No, I'm sorry, fiance.
Oh, fiance. I didn't know. I didn't know they were engaged to be married. Poor choice there, Gabby.
Yeah.
You gotta pick a guy. That's not the guy you want to pick.
Well, those Long Island guys, you can't trust them.
No, you can't. You got if they stay on Long Island, they're bad news. You got to get out of there.
Got to get out of there.
Although he moved to Florida, he's a Long Island guy who moved to Florida, so I can't really talk.
Yeah, and Jerry Seinfeld moved back.
Yeah.
But I think if you leave and come back, you're okay.
I think if you've had a TV series, you're okay.
Yeah, the biggest one in the history of television.
Yeah, you're okay. She picked a bad guy. Let's be honest, and then they went across the country, and it was her van. This guy didn't even have wheels, for God's sake. I mean, a lot of choices. It's a life's all choices there, Alfred, and hate to say it, she made a bad one, fatal one. And I don't know what they found of him, but I don't think it was much. I was reading that the locals there were saying in that there's wild pigs, there's moccasins, alligators. There probably wasn't much of.
So there's boar and wild pigs, which that's not the same thing actually, because a domesticated pig that's second or third generation that's gone wild can be a wild pig, whereas a boar is a wild.
Is this podcast
boar?
Oh.
I'm just trying to educate some of our listeners.
I was trying to slip in an Al Ducharme, then I just figured I'd go with the podcast instead. But
you're always trying to slip it in.
Slip it in. I like to slip it in.
Yep.
Who
doesn't? I like
hell?
to slip it out, slip it in as much as possible.
Oh, you slip it out too. You go that way. You don't just slip it in. You slip it out.
Yeah, I'm indecisive, so I keep changing my mind. So I'll go in and out.
Yeah, so that was big news. Laundrie, that thing's over. It's done. Although the parents found him. What do you think of that? That seems odd.
I don't know. The way the news has, been reporting, they make them sound like they are implicated, and we believe they helped him along the way. They may have given him a cell phone. There's a bunch of rumors. How did the parents find evidence, his belongings, and bring it out of the swamp?
Well,
if you see evidence, wouldn't you call the cops, the FBI? Everybody's there. They were with the FBI, then they went back in by themselves, and they said, "Oh, we found some of his belongings." It's like, aren't you supposed to leave it there and then call them and say, "Hey, it's over there on the ground"?
They've never seen forensic files or Dateline or anything where you don't touch.
They moved evidence.
But I'm tired of these conspiracy nuts. Everything's a conspiracy today. Yeah, every goddamn thing now with Brian Laundrie, the parents, he's gone, but they put the belongings there and it's next to some kind of, flesh or something. And it's not him. And people are going, it's not him. And
no, I'm not.
Why can't anything
him.
be settled? Things can be settled. They found him.
Yeah, they found him. The dental records. He didn't pull his teeth out and said, "My dad here. I'm going to Mexico. Just put my teeth. Fine. Go dig up Uncle Bobby and put these teeth next to it." It's like
that's elaborate. That's too elaborate. That's very elaborate. You're a most wanted man in the country, and
everybody's
you're digging
looking
up Uncle
for
Bobby. That seems a bit much, but I don't know. It's interesting though. I guess they went to the spot they dropped them off. So he would really all this bullshit. John Walsh, he's in Mexico, and all these the bounty hunter on the Appalachian Trail, and this guy. They dropped them off at a spot. He kind of stayed there. The place was underwater for a few days, where the body was, and so the water receded. So then I was reading about your body explodes underwater.
Yeah,
if it's bloated. So I mean, really, what was left of the guy? Probably just a little skin, a couple bones, a tooth or two, and maybe his jaw with the teeth.
Well, with all that description and whatever happened there, decomposing, he did not file his taxes, and the IRS is demanding that he file them, and he actually owes some taxes. So,
well, maybe his parents can file them from prison, because someone's got to pay. He can't pay now for the death. So you got to go somebody. We need our pound of flesh. And those two for something. They're going to be arrested for something. You can't just have your kid come home after murdering.
How about tampering with evidence? How about tampering
Something.
with evidence? Just a little something. Just
tampering anything.
Lying to authorities, isn't that a possibility?
Something. Give me something. Tampering with the smoke detector on an airplane. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Just give me something. They got to go to jail, or they have to be arrested, and then they can be released and go to trial. But those two have to be cuffed and perped walk out of that dumb house in Northport.
Yeah, they cannot live on Long Island or in Florida right now. They have to change their names and move somewhere.
Yeah. And go to jail. They got to go to jail. These motherfuckers.
I think they should serve something, 18 months or something, whatever. I don't know how it works down there.
You got to do something. You had him. He was in his house. But the cops, I was talking to our old friend, Jim Manelli, from my old shipmate from Boston.
All hands on deck.
You never fail. And he was in law enforcement, and he said he saw that body cam footage of her and him in Wyoming, and he's like, what cop? He goes, if there's any domestic at any time, he goes, the guy gets arrested.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let the guy go. He goes, so those cops fucked up. Northport cops fucked up, letting him leave the house without. Everyone screwed up here. I mean,
but
it really was.
How does that happen in this day and age with all the fuck ups that we have? Do we learn anything? Do we learn procedure? So you're saying that, are they saying that these procedures don't exist in these departments, or they do exist and the cops?
I think they're a little sloppy. They're a little sloppy. They're a little sloppy.
How about the guy is a person of interest and then he's not under surveillance?
And I get tired of the one guy who did it being called a person of interest. You know what I mean? We know he did it. He did it. Person of interest.
Yeah.
How about a suspect? What happened to that word? That is that not politically correct now? Can we not say suspect?
I don't know. They're worried about being sued, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of today's day and age and all, what about Alec Baldwin killing a cinematographer? What the fuck's a loaded gun? Who uses even blanks? I mean, they
kept saying, yeah.
The two dicks we added, bang, bang in post. I mean,
yeah.
What the fuck?
We had plastic guns. We added bang, bang in post.
Right.
They kept saying it's a prop gun. It's a prop gun. And it had blanks. I'm like, wait a minute. Prop? I'm not, it's a little vague to me because, do you remember when, who was the martial arts guy who got Brandon?
Bruce Lee's son.
Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. He had a gun, and they kept delaying the scene at the movie. He goes, Jesus, we got to delay. How long is it going to take? They were sitting there for hours. So he took his prop gun, which had a blank on it, put it up to his head, and pulled a trigger like he thought it was going to go click, like pretending he was blowing his brains out. But there was a blank, and it caved in his skull, and he died. And since then, they changed all the safety rules.
Right.
On set.
Right.
And they're very strict about it.
Right.
So there's a prop master, a firearms prop master, safety person, and there's a medic. Yeah. There's always like a medical person on set there. And they're claiming because the impending possible strike, there may have been some shortcuts taken because of cost and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you can believe it when you hear about it. It's unbelievable. In 2021, that can happen on a movie set. I mean, when everything is added later and digitally, and they're actually loading a gun with blanks, and he's that close and pulling the trigger, killing the cinematographer,
Well, there was
injuring the director.
Yeah, there was a projectile in the weapon. So my thing is, that's a real firearm
Right,
that has real bullets in it.
right.
So are they using the gun and firing real bullets to get the effect? And then they take it and they empty it and they hand it to the actor and say, there's blanks in it now. And you fire right towards camera and we're standing behind the camera from however far
That's what
away.
I know. It's really, I mean, it's like executing the guy. If the director's behind the camera and he goes, give me a shot of that gun, just aim it at the camera, and he pulls the trigger. That woman didn't have a chance.
No, she was the cinema photographer, 42 years
Right.
old, and apparently very promising. She had a lot of experience and promising career ahead of her.
Well, who's the prop master? I don't think he has much of a career ahead of him.
Well, of course it goes to Alec Baldwin, who's known to have a temper.
Little temper.
So does he go, let's fucking shoot this scene or I'll shoot you? And he fires off what he thinks is a couple of blanks because he's producing it.
You think there'd be video of that? You think there might be video somewhere of that?
Well, I heard the cinematographer is the only one who has access to the codes because it was shot digitally. And unfortunately, the one person that can prove that she was shot by Alec Baldwin is dead. Isn't that like a Paula Poundstone joke she did about Sirhan?
I don't know it.
Sirhan said that Robert Kennedy, who he assassinated, would have forgiven him. And Paula Poundstone's joke was the one guy that would have forgiven him. And he shot him.
Funny.
Yeah.
But I don't. Well, everyone knows he did it. The whole everyone said he's the one who. He even admitted. He tweeted today about pulling the trigger. And
no, he did it. He was the trigger man. But how do you recover from that? Now I know the family, the woman, the poor woman, the director, I think he's been released from the hospital. But the family, the cast, the crew. Is that movie over with? That was an independent movie that
he was producing it. Yeah.
Is that? Does Alec Baldwin, is he able to ever recover from this himself? Is Alec Baldwin going to be working on another movie in 2 or 3 years from now?
I say yes.
He's 68 years old. He's 68 years old.
Well, yeah, but time moves on. I remember Twilight Zone, the movie. And
Vic Morrow.
Vic Morrow got beheaded by a helicopter, and
two
little kids died.
Yeah.
And everybody went on and made movies.
John Landis.
So, it goes on. I mean,
there was a lot of,
see it.
Yeah, it was in
if
court.
they finish this movie or not. If they finish this one or not. And who knows? I mean, they may just close it up and say, fuck it. Or they may dedicate it to her. We got to finish it. And it's dedicated to the cinematographer.
In memory of the woman who shot this, who ironically was shot.
Right. Yes. Yes.
No, it's sad. It really. I know I'm making.
No, it's tragic.
Bad jokes. It's tragic. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. I didn't even know about. My sister tweeted me. I thought he died because she wrote something like, "Did you hear about Alec Baldwin?" So that when you get that, immediately it's he's gone.
Did you hear about the shooting and Alec Baldwin? You think
right? That's
Alec Baldwin was in a shootout. But your sister is like a tabloid magazine with her little messages. That Linda, she works for the UK tabloids. She's like
she knows her pop culture.
She has a pseudonym.
Knows her pop culture. Yeah.
Yep.
What is that? What's a pseudonym? Is that a fake name?
Yeah. Chemo Linda.
Right. Oh right. Yes. Yes, that's her.
Oh, Linda, you.
Hey, Mary. Speaking of Jim Manelli, I saw him. He's in town. He lives
in the nude.
I've seen him in the nude. We're in the Navy together, for God's sake.
In the Navy, swab my dick. Deck.
Never misses a chance. Never misses a chance. Never. Absolutely never. He lives about an hour now out of Tampa. So we met and had a cigar over at Davidoff. And this was a big week for the two Dicks people in the Dicks world. I got to see Jim Sampson, who was in one of our Two Dicks. He played I can't think of the name of the character he
Bert
played
Johnson.
right now. He played Bert Johnson. Very good, sir.
He played Bert Johnson, which is a character from Arthur, who was actually the future father-in-law of Arthur in the movie with Dudley Moore.
Right.
And Middlefinger was played by Joe.
Joe DeRoma
Joe
played Boris Middlefinger, and they were dumber than dicks, that episode. If you want to see it on YouTube, the two guys who tried to kidnap and kill the dicks, and we turned the tables on them.
Non-actor guys, not just civilians that we were in a jam and we needed them, and they both stepped up and they did a bang-up job.
A bang-up job wearing turtlenecks and hats in a garage that was about 140 degrees.
So we all lost weight that day.
It was good. But that's on YouTube. The Two Dicks. Check it out. Dumber Than Dicks. And I had lunch on Wednesday with Helen Keeney from the show.
Helen is our favorite out of all those people we mentioned. And I know they're listening to it, but Helen is absolutely our favorite. You're all tied for second, but Helen is number one.
And we were talking about the podcast and all. And then Helen was like, imagine if we had kept our podcast. Because I did a podcast with Helen 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we started the Pod Couple, Helen and I. And she was like, can you imagine if we stayed with it? We would have been on 10 years now. We were early on in the thing.
You wouldn't be doing this.
We'd be huge, baby. Huge.
You'd have like 15,000 Patreon followers. You'd
be sweet.
At $5 a month.
It would be nice.
Over $1 million a year.
The technology wasn't there to do what we do now. It wasn't there 10 years ago, and I would travel, and she was at HSN, and we had to be in person basically to pod. And we couldn't do a weekly. It just didn't work out. But I was like, shit, that was 10 years ago, man. We were fairly early on. What's happening, Alfred? You okay? If you're on Patreon, Al's having some issues where he's losing his bone density and sinking into his chair. I don't know.
I was doing an impression of Brian Laundrie sinking into the swamp.
I saw a funny picture today of Brian Laundrie in front of a Walmart self-checkout sign. Thought that was fairly clever. Funny. Self-checkout. Not bad. Not bad. People are pretty good.
Yep.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I'm finding a lot of civilians funnier than comedians these days.
Oh, people are funny. I mean, they're not funny on stage. They're not funny at 8 o'clock and 9:30 or, but they're funny.
No, they're funny in the meme social media aspect of it. Some of them, not all of them. There's a lot of fails. There's a lot of fails.
Mary, a lot of fails.
What about those fails where you post a joke and then civilians try to tag your joke and it's just like, oof.
No.
Ooh. Swing and a miss.
Yes. I love putting that little GIF on after people that this guy's swinging the tennis racket, swing and a miss. It's like, stop trying to be funny, douchebag.
And the civilians think they're hysterical, and
well, they're not.
And we're nice.
That's why
I hit like, but meanwhile I'm throwing up.
Yeah, but you're nice on the Facebook.
You're not
give
nice.
You give everybody a nice.
It's not.
Thumbs up, buddy.
It's not.
Thumbs up.
It's not that you're not nice. You're just too honest.
I'm honest, sir. I can't help it. I can't help it. Sometimes I write something scathing, and then I look up and I see Al Ducharme liked it. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't like that, you phony.
I like that. No, when you attack me, a lot of it's funny, and I laugh.
Well, it's done with love, of course. It's not real. Well, I'm not attacking. Well, I mean, every now and then.
I appreciate it. I appreciate.
Yeah.
When you call me out for shit that's obviously really dumb, and you just shit on me, I gotta laugh. I mean, what am I gonna do?
Gotta laugh, man. Gotta laugh. Hey, you know what? Oh, by the way, thank you. I don't remember the bet, what it was, but I received the Atabay cigar in the mail the other day. And I don't remember the bet. Was it Yankees, Sox? Was it Rays?
We said I said the Yankees wouldn't make the playoffs. Now, here's where it's a gray area. So I think I think you owe me a whiskey, because they made the wild card game, which was one game,
right?
And they lost. So did they make it to the playoffs?
Well, the wild card is a playoff.
That is a playoff.
Sure.
And even though they lost it, that
Sure.
wasn't the bet. The bet
No.
was making it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So then
Okay.
I thought it was justified,
No.
and I sent
I'll
it
give
to
you-
you
I'll be happy to get you a whiskey anytime, sir.
because that was a $50 hit for me.
I
So
know.
I would like a $14 to $20 whiskey.
Well, you get your ass down here. We can go to Davidoff, and I'll let you pick whatever you like on the top shelf.
Woohoo!
Get the bartender with the little skirt to go up the ladder, and
What's
and
his
it'll be
name?
Old creepy old man. That's Bob.
He's a Scottish guy.
He's Bob.
Scottish.
he's a good
It's
man.
Robert. It's Robert. Now, what do you want? Do you want tip, stiff, and more?
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
That's crap.
But anybody who smokes cigars here listening to the podcast, boy, get yourself an Atabay sometime and really just treat yourself. That
Now,
thing is the real fucking deal.
Did you see the ring top on that? Did you see the ring top? If you noticed, I know you threw it away by now, but it had 4 rings that are attached to the top.
Yes.
And that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
It's very meticulous.
It's
So
art.
it's less chance of it being a knockoff. Probably, it's not a knockoff. It was real.
No, you once you light the thing, you know it's not a knockoff. I mean that because you can get a $10 cigar, and this is going to be boring for anybody who's not cigars, and we'll move on. But you can get a $10 cigar, and it's good. It's like a good cigar, and blah blah blah. Then you can buy a $20 cigar, and you go, it wasn't that much better than a $10 cigar.
Right. Same thing with wine.
Right, but when you go in the $35, $40 cigars, it's different.
Elevated. It's elevated.
You know, that's a different world, right? You're in right now, and that Atabay boy, that is some nice stick. So, thank you, buddy. And speaking of those kind of things, John Consoli, another guy, he was on our pod a few months ago. Johnny Balls, he had sent me a picture saying, "Check this stuff out. It's called Death Wish Coffee."
Oh, you
Death
posted that.
Wish. I put it on our coffee page, and good Lord, this shit is boy, that is some really strong Joe. Really good.
Is it like Turkish coffee? Is it?
I don't know where it's from. I didn't.
Does it stimulates you, but it also cleans you out?
It does everything. You need cocaine to come down from it. You know what I mean? I advise a couple of lines of coke afterwards because holy the jitters.
Well,
yeah.
I don't want to have a heart attack, but
some men can handle it, some can't. And no, it was quite, I mean, it's really good. It's really, and they have mild and dark. And I'd gotten the dark, and it's available at the Whole Foods. So if you're in that Whole Foods, check it out. Death Wish Coffee.
Oh, Mr. Moneybags he came off a ship, 6 months contract, and he's going to Whole Foods again. Before he was going to a vending machine at the gas station, and now he's back at Whole Foods.
I don't think that's true. And I did. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Vending machine. I don't know what that. Oh, you mean a coffee at a vending machine? What year are you? 1940? What vending machine has coffee anymore?
They're very popular. They're very popular in Europe.
Oh, I forgot. You're a world traveler. Okay. Yeah. Why are you dressed, by the way? Patreon members, check it out. Why is Alfred? It's fucking October. He's got like a sweatshirt, a jacket, a hat. What's happening there? Is California, I mean, am I not knowing what the weather is like anywhere? I mean, is it that cold in October in California?
Last night it went down to 53 degrees, and the night before it went down to 47. And my place stays cool unless I put the heat on. So I drove the wife to the airport. I put her on a big fat bird and sent her back east to the Northeast.
You finally got rid of her. Good man.
And I'm a bachelor for the next 4 days, so I'm gonna be hitting on everything.
Cigars,
that moves,
booze, and whores.
I'm gonna be hitting on all 3 of those things, and
nice.
not necessarily in that order. And
whores, booze, and cigars.
The joke is, I'm gonna hit on anything that moves. What are you gonna do? And I'm gonna sit perfectly still. Is the answer.
Oh, you didn't really give me a chance to.
Oh, okay. I can do it again and edit it out. Ready?
Yeah.
You ever hear the I'm going to hit anything that moves. You know what the answer to that is?
I'm going to stay perfectly still.
That's the answer. That's the proper
There you
answer.
go. Boom.
Pow.
Pro comedian. Pro comedian. Hey, I wanted to let you know, tell you this little weird tale. I flew to Galveston. I flew to Houston
Galveston.
I flew to Houston last week to do a ship out of Galveston. And you got to take an Uber now. They used to have a van, a shuttle. Mm-hmm. No more, I guess, COVID. And so you take an Uber, 90-minute Uber ride, 90 minutes.
Woo.
So I get in the Uber. I'm wearing the mask. Guy's wearing the mask. You know, we're not talking. It's early in the morning. I'm not talking. He's not talking. Fine. I fall asleep. I drop my phone. I fall asleep. He's like, hey, you were. What? All right. He wakes me up like, hey, where you fell asleep? I'm like, all right. Whatever. I'm sorry. Fell asleep. We're not talking or anything. So anyway, the ride continues. I get to the ship. All good. I get on the ship. I get an email from Uber saying, hey, you got a complaint. Your driver has made a complaint against you. And, you know, this is your first complaint, so there's not a problem. But I go, and I look, what the fuck? What did I do? Fall asleep? Is that against the 90-minute drive rules? No. The guy tells Uber I wasn't wearing a mask for 90 minutes. Meanwhile, I had the mask on for 90 minutes. What the fuck? What do you make of that, Alfred? Is he trying to bury me for? I mean, I tipped him. I did everything you want. It was $100 ride. He made some money. And he complained that I didn't wear a mask when I had it on for 90 minutes.
Are you sure he didn't mean condom? You weren't wearing a condom?
Mask?
Maybe you weren't wearing a condom when he slipped you the roofie. And you fell asleep.
I like how your mind always goes to male rape immediately. I'm telling a nice story about an Uber and a mask, and you go to male rape.
It's not a nice story. It sounds like you got a complaint. Is there a possibility your mask came off when you fell asleep? It slid off?
No, it was a mask. They don't slide off. They don't slide off. It was a mask.
Well, aren't you a fit sleeper? That's what the ladies say.
A what?
A fit sleeper. You have fits. You have
in the nude.
You have fits of you throw out your arms. You're like and your arms are flailing like I'm being attacked by wild animals or something. I don't know. No.
I don't know. I've never heard that. It's possible when you've noticed that when we have a few times. And have I kept you awake with my fits? Has that happened? You never told me that.
When did the sleeping take place?
You had a lot to drink, and
I stayed at your home, but I had the guest bedroom, and I put the dresser and the chair up against it because I know about you.
You know about my fits.
I got an Atabay here for you. Woo.
Hey now, ooh, hey!
It's got 4 rings on the tip.
But what do you make of that? Why would a guy write that?
I don't know.
Bullshit. What would be the point of that? I don't understand it. I mean, I don't get it.
Did he try to engage you because you fell asleep and you were a little Al Romas to him?
No, I didn't fall asleep right away. I was sitting in the back, and
so you fell asleep, and he woke you up. And what was your response when you woke up?
I didn't say anything.
You didn't go, hey buddy, I'm trying to sleep.
No,
you didn't say that?
Like that. No. I was.
Hey, I'm trying to sleep, and I fucked your mother. Did you say that?
I can't be positive. It's possible. I can't be sure, but I thought even because I didn't want. It's 90 minutes. It's not a quick. So I thought if this guy starts talking, I'll talk. What the hell? Because it's 90 minutes, for God's sake. And I sat there, and after 10 or 15 minutes, he didn't say a word. So then I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just close my eyes. And then once I closed my eyes, I was asleep. And then it was, hey, you're asleep back there. Wake up. I'm like, what? Like, all right. What the hell?
Does he have video footage of this?
How would I know that?
I don't know. Did you respond to Uber?
Yeah, I wrote back. I said, I wore my mask for 90 minutes. I don't know what the guy's talking about. And it's ridiculous.
Can you give him, did you already give him a 5-star?
I already gave him, I gave him a 5-star, and I gave him a tip on top of the $100. I tipped him whatever, $20 or something. And
woo.
And after that, he still writes that I wasn't wearing, I don't know, unless it was, he got the wrong guy. Maybe a guy after me didn't have a mask. You made a mistake.
Right.
I don't know. It's just it's strange.
It is strange.
It's really strange, man. But anyway,
Do you think because you were smoking a
what?
cigar in the back of his vehicle?
Yes, I was smoking a cigar with a mask on in the back of an Uber. Yes,
while I was asleep.
I'm completely addicted. I must smoke a cigar 24/7, even while I'm asleep.
Hey,
yeah.
Is it time for
questions?
Oh yes, we have a
Batman.
Don't be so excited. This is just. I think I may stop asking for questions after this question. This question may be our last question of the Talking Dicks comedy podcast.
Oh, who's the big closer of the questions?
It's your buddy, your old college, I believe, roommate, Dan Gerstenlauer from the podcast.
No, he's definitely a college friend and friend outside of college.
Not a roomie?
No, I was roommate with Paul Francis Riley.
Where we haven't heard from Paul Francis in months. We haven't seen email or comments on Patreon, or he falls far behind usually, doesn't he? When he's working on the lathe, doesn't he have a lathe?
Yeah, he when he's working, he has a shop. He has a workshop at home, and he's always, I think he's done with his home.
Oh.
He was renovating it, whatnot.
I think he's done with the Talking Dicks, to be honest.
Yeah, he could be. He says he listens to this while he's working.
Well, start working again, Paul Francis Riley. We want to hear from you. And but he did not ask the question. Dan Gerstenlauer, who was on our Beatles quiz show, our highly rated Beatle off with Johnny Peasy and you and me and Dan Gerstenlauer.
That was a lot of fun.
That was great, and people they enjoyed it. They enjoyed that one. But Dan wrote a question.
I used to call him Dan Gersten Mustard.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just I think German name, German mustard. Go ahead. What is the question?
I don't get that, but no. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
How many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop? Yeah, Dan Gerstenlauer.
Dan, you're the reason why we don't do questions anymore.
I can't believe Dan's wasting his talents driving a bus.
He's a school bus driver.
I don't know if that's.
He's in charge of driving those kids around.
I don't know if that's good or not. I'll be honest. I mean, this man's worried about how many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop, and he's around children who are probably having a Tootsie Pop. It's a little creepy, the whole thing. I gotta be honest.
He's throwing back to the old Tootsie Roll company, Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop, which was a Tootsie Roll at the center of a pop, a lollipop.
Yeah.
And,
what he's doing?
And it was a little animated, squiggly animation commercial. It was like, hey, Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? And the wise old owl says, well, let me see. 1, 2, 3. And he goes 3, and he hands the empty stick back to the kid.
And that was a commercial?
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
That was on Saturday mornings with the cartoons.
Yeah, I was working.
Before the Kardashians.
I had a job. I wasn't.
Oh, you had a job when you were 7? When you were 7?
Yeah.
Oh, you were in the Navy.
I was a boy whore.
Your parents boy whore, and they signed you up for the Navy. They lied up. You were 7, and they put a 1 next to that, so you were 17.
Yeah,
wasn't that you can join the Navy now at 17 if you get your parents' permission?
I didn't have permission. I just joined. I just went down there and said I want to be in. I don't have time. I'm mature. I don't want to watch cartoons with Tootsie Pop commercials. I've never seen that commercial, by the way. I'm not kidding around here. I don't know what that even means. An owl and Tootsie Pop. And
I'm going to see if I can find it on YouTube.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Yeah.
and get sued by the Tootsie Roll company unless we can get them to be our sponsor.
Oh, hey, we may have a sponsor soon. I'll talk to you off air about that. Off air.
We do have a couple of sponsors.
Well, we have the watch company. We haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah, and when the money starts coming in, we'll start talking about them again. Handley Watches. Handley Watches. If you want to have a good time, you have to have a good watch. HandleyWatches.com. Check it out. Elegant watches at a reasonable price.
It wouldn't kill the good people at Handley to send over a couple we could wear during the pod.
I have one, actually. It's not within reach.
Mine did not make it here to the new place, I guess.
That's because you don't know how to wear a mask.
I wear them. This is outrageous, sir. 90 minutes of wearing a mask, and I'm flagged as a non-masker. You know what I mean?
We're going to go out on that one unless you want to add something.
No, I'm ready to go out.
Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The Two Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary.
Patreon.com/The Two Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.